an RGB HDMI cable. Why did I spend my money on this? I love it though.
My friends, what I have here is the invoice for probably the stupidest thing that I've ever purchased. The biggest waste of money that's ever come across this channel. That's for this guy, the Vivify Arquus W73 RGB HDMI cable. But is it as stupid as it sounds? And did I waste as much money as I think I did? Let's talk about it after I tell you about today's video sponsor. Let's pay for it. Today's video is brought to you by Displate and the dope metal prints that you hang on your wall with magnets. Easy steps. They have bent corners so that you're not actually stabbing yourself or slicing yourself on the metal. Dope metal prints with tons of designs. And if you use the link in the video description, displate.com/UFD Tech Official, and enter coupon code UFD at checkout, you'll save 15% off your order. And they plant trees every time you buy a Displate. So not only are you getting hot, amazing room design stuff, but you're also helping to protect the environment. So check that out at the link in the video description. They're amazing. They have designs and everything that you could possibly want. We got this negative space Goku, hard drives, trees, Cyberpunk 2077, weeb stuff. Anyways, check out Displates down in the video description. My friends, I haven't even opened this box yet because I wanted to experience this with you. This is a kick-started project that I was actually able to order. I found this while researching a hot news one day and realized that it's so ridiculous that I have to have it. So the Arquus W73 raised about $20,000 over on Kickstarter for being what they're saying is the world's first multicolored RGB gaming HDMI cable. And as this invoice would indicate, I spent $75 on this HDMI cable. It is 2.7 meters or 9 feet, which admittedly might be a stupid price, but what's even worse is that I actually paid $24 for shipping. It's ridiculous. They say that Amazon is coming soon, but not soon enough for my wallet to not be ouch. So I'm a little disappointed in this product already, but as I've done a little bit of more research to figure out, okay, what makes this 9-foot HDMI cable worth $75? The answer is not a whole lot, but there are a few distinguishing factors about this thing, such as the fact that it is actually a fiber optic HDMI cable and not a standard copper one, which, in case you know anything about signal transmission, fiber optic is admittedly better for sending signal over long distances than copper would be, just because light doesn't typically diminish over distances, whereas copper HDMI cables have a tendency to attenuate or to lose their signal over a given distance. Typically between 30 and 50 feet is the maximum that you're gonna get. And then fiber optic cables actually don't have to deal with like electromagnetic interference or anything like that. And because it's an HDMI 2.0B cable, it can transfer 18 gigabits per second of bandwidth. It has up to 4K HDR, gaming 60 up to 120 hertz with 4K. It can do everything that you would expect it to, but it also has RGB built in, making it a gaming HDMI cable. And one of also the benefits of fiber optic cable over copper is that it is indeed flexible. However, I'm guessing because they put the LED strip in this thing, it's not exactly the most flexible thing in the world. So already, first of all, this is probably the fanciest HDMI box that I've ever seen in my entire life. This may be not on the magnitude of the $1,000 HDMI cable that Linus reviewed, but it's pretty swanky considering I normally get mine in a plastic bag. So let's go ahead and get this thing right out. Suck. So the cable is here. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Now, active optical cables, which is what this HDMI cable is, tend to be used over long distances, which is why they are actually different than their copper brethren. But because it's only 2.7 meters or 9 feet, and they do have a 15-foot variety, there's not a whole lot of reason to actually get a fiber optic cable unless they did it so that they have more flexibility for the RGB strip. You get a Vivify sticker, you get test reports letting you know that there are 0 errors for 4K 68-bit and 1080 60 12-bit. 0 errors, my friends. There you go. Everything's good to go. It's a game changer. All right, there's another box here, which is for the micro USB, presumably to power the RGB. And that is the rest of the box. Here is the 9-foot RGB HDMI cable. And I would say that there are some reasons to get fiber optic cables, and there are some reasons to get HDMI cables. However, should you spend $75 on one? Well, let's go ahead and plug this thing in and find out. There we go. It is flashing red, partially. I don't know if it's coming out well on camera. It's actually not. Ugh, okay. Red flashing when only one side of the cable is connected to a device, when the cable is connected incorrectly. Okay, I have to plug it into a device to actually get this going. So let's plug it into my PlayStation and see how this thing works. So one of the big advantages of fiber optic, which I've mentioned a couple times already, is the fact that you get more of the bandwidth over a longer distance. And considering the fact that HDMI 2.0B is 18 gigabits per second, and we lose range around 30 feet, with the upcoming standard of HDMI 2.1, which is supposed to actually be 48 gigabits per second, one would presume that fiber optic can carry that signal a little bit further without losing any sort of quality. And what is happening is my HDMI cable is not working, first of all. But unfortunately for this cable right here, it is only HDMI 2.0B rated. It's not rated for HDMI 2.1. So that 48 gigabit per second bandwidth you're not getting. You're just getting the typical 18 gigabit per second, which you can get on a dozen or so HDMI cables that are 10 feet long on Amazon for about 12 bucks. And right now this thing is causing me tons of issues and is not just natively working. So that's great. Okay, are you even registering the fact that an HDMI cable is plugged in? You're not. This HDMI cable is not even freaking working. I don't even have to plug in the power. It's just straight up not working. Oh, that's, oh crap. Oh, that's something I didn't pay attention to. This is source, the other side's display. The display has to be plugged into the power, not the HDMI. There we go. Okay, read instructions, friends, for non-obvious things. There we go, we got a blue light. Lecker. Because this is a brightly lit room, which is lit for video and is not a typical lighting environment, let's go ahead and turn off the lights and see what it looks like in a normal scenario. That's not terrible. It doesn't look like this in real life. So what you're seeing on camera is actually more pronounced. So there's a couple reasons why I think you would get something like this. So first up, you would have the world's first RGB gaming HDMI cable. Why would you not want that? There's no reason to not want an RGB HDMI cable. That's just bragging rights. Secondly, there are people who tend to build like actual displays out of how they mount things, and they route their cables on the walls. We've all seen those on like an Instagram for like PC setups. This would fit tremendously well in something like that. But it doesn't make any sense as an actual HDMI cable. The RGB is admittedly decent. I'm okay with that, but the pricing is so insane. $75 for a 9-foot cable. I am literally looking at a product on Amazon right now, HDMI 2.0B, also fiber optic, but 12 meters, 40 feet for $68. Or if you want to go with another fiber optic one, $62 for 15 feet, which the 15-foot version of this is $100 right now, plus the $24 for shipping. It's available on Amazon UK, but not Amazon US right now. Okay, I'm gonna turn the light back on so that you guys can actually see. But I have to, oh, that's terribly overexposed. But I also have to add that that price of $100 for the 15-foot is a limited time offer, because it's normally $200. And the 9-foot version, which is currently what I have, is normally $150, which I'm not sure when the limited time price ends, if this is some sort of like cyber deal, I don't know. But $75 to get a fiber optic cable that's so short that you get no advantage of a typical fiber optic cable, which is to carry the signal over long distances. But then you also get RGB, but then you also don't get the increased flexibility because of the LED strip in it. I'm not sure it's worth it, but I love it so much. I love it so much. This obviously makes no sense for a ton of people, like the people who have their HDMI cables hidden behind their desk and hidden behind their monitors and just tucked out of the way, unless you want some sort of soft underbelly glow going on that like slightly illuminates the world around you, but not really. like turning off every light in here, if I could for just a second. This is not, it's not illuminating the table that's under it, even though there's no other light on. You just see the light of the HDMI cable. All right, my friends. So the Vivify Arquus W73, $75 to $100 RGB HDMI cable. Is it worth it? Yes and no. It's actually not horrendously overpriced. $75 is a lot for an HDMI cable, but considering it's a fiber optic cable, and from the other reviews that I looked at, it's actually a pretty okay one. It's not like 5,000% overpriced. It's more like 30% overpriced, which, given the fact that you get the added bling and you can kit out your system a little bit more, it's worth it for bragging rights to just show off for friends. But is any normal person gonna buy this? There's probably no way. There's no reason to buy an RGB HDMI cable. You don't get extra performance. This monitor is not gonna run any faster. It's gonna be the exact same speed as it was before, as Linus even proved in his $1,000 HDMI cable. You get what you get because of the rating of the certification. HDMI 2.0B is rated to carry 18 gigabits per second. That's gonna be the same whether or not it's an RGB cable, whether or not it's a fiber optic cable, whether or not it's got a copper cable. You're gonna get the same signal bandwidth coming through. It's actually just a matter of length, but considering it's 9 feet, this is literally worth no more than a $12 cable that you can get on Amazon and then just strap a $2 Chinese RGB strip to it, if that's really the way you want to go. So, in case you want to buy an HDMI cable over on Amazon, we'll leave our affiliate link in the video description. In case you want to pick this up, we'll leave a link for this down below as well. But the Arquus W73 from Vivify, I like the fact that I have it. I don't like the fact that I spent $98.99 on this, including shipping.
All around me are familiar faces.
Make of that what you will. Don't forget to check out today's video sponsor display at the link in the video description. Dope metal prints that mount on the wall with magnets, easy to configure, easy to swap out, and save the environment when they plant trees for every order that you place. Check it out at the link in the video description and enter coupon code UFD to save 15%. Do it, my friends. You know you want to. Thank you. And that's going to wrap up this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. Let me know if there's any other dumb products that you want me to check out. I will be more than willing to buy them and be stupid and try to figure them out. At least it wasn't $1,000. That's my takeaway from this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button. I'll check you next time. Bye.